ठीक चालू आहे. ओळख बरं नेटवर्क केल्यावर घे.
Yes, good morning everyone. Sorry for the delay. There was some problem here in the network. I will just unmute one. Yeah, I'll unmute Pratika today. Pratika is there here? Pratika, can you hear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let us start with the program. Yesterday we have finished our journal program. That where were we yesterday? We were calculating compound interest, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So where was our compound interest program? Anyways, before we start with compound interest, what I want to do is, yesterday we have already done compound interest program. Today
Yes,
what I will do is, that compound interest program we are supposed to convert it into a function or a procedure. Now today what I will do is, I'll start with a simple procedure here. Now as I told you, okay, let me just cover a little bit of theory for procedures. Here I have made a Word document that I will share with you all. Okay, so you can see the Word document.
Yes, ma'am.
So procedure is nothing but a sub program. There are two kinds of sub programs available in PLSQL. One is called a procedure and second is called as a function. The difference is, a function can return a value and procedure doesn't return a value, but still there is a way to get the value out from the procedure. Anyways, we'll come to that later. Let us first look at the syntax. For syntax, you can see first word in the syntax is create, as we used to create a table. So similarly here we are going to create a procedure. So as you all know, this is a DDL statement. As you used to say, create table. So similarly here we have to say create procedure. So create procedure means we are going to create a sub program. Then we have to give a program name or the procedure name. Then after that we should have a bracket. Inside the bracket we will pass the parameters. Again, for passing the parameters, there is a syntax that you have to give a parameter name. Then you can see whatever is there in the square bracket is optional. So one of these three values I have to give. There are three types of parameters we can pass. One is in parameter, second is out parameter, and third is in out. Now let us discuss about what does that in means, out means, and in out means. Anyways, then we have to pass the data type of the parameter name, then this keyword in or in out, then I have to give a data type of the parameter. And then after that I have to give is or as. Is given when the procedure and the program is there in the same. That means when we write a function in the same program and we call that function in the down part of the program, that time we make use of is. Sometimes what we do is, here in PLSQL, we can create a procedure and keep it as a separate entity. which can be used or called in any of the programs after that. So I can create an independent piece and I can keep it ready. Like for example, in the kitchen, suppose if we just mm, the common ingredient, for example, we always require tomato puree. So what we can do, create tomato puree and keep it in one dabba,
Yeah.
and whenever we want, we can use it in any of the recipes. So similarly here,
Yes.
this procedure can be created as independent procedure and can be used in any of the program. That time we make use of as. And
As
suppose we are using the procedure in the same programs. In the same
program
program, above we are declaring a procedure and down we are going to call that procedure. That time we make use of is.
is.
Anyways, so this is the first line of the procedure. Now here you can see some part I have skipped explaining, that is in the bracket or
Or
replace. Or replace is
yes.
optional part, but it is better to use. Why? Because suppose we have created a procedure already, and then next
Yes.
time we try to create a procedure with the same name, my compiler will give me error that procedure already exists. As
Exists.
per your requirement, suppose you don't want your previous procedures to be overwritten, you want to preserve them, then in that case you just go for create procedure, so that when
Create.
the error comes you understand, array, that procedure name is already used by some other procedure, so let me give a different name. You can go with that. Or suppose you want to replace if there is any existing procedure, that means your
Then
compiler will be forced to create a new procedure. Even if the old procedure exists, that procedure will be overwritten by this new procedure. So in that
yes.
case, if you want like that, then you can say create or
Replace.
replace and then the procedure name. Is this clear to
Yes.
you? When to
Yes,
use
ma'am.
create and when to use create or replace? Yeah. So
Yes, ma'am.
now let us go to the example. First, we have created a simple procedure which doesn't require any parameters. That means it is just a procedure without a parameter. This
Parameter.
procedure is the name of the procedure is greeting. So here you can
Greeting.
say how we have created. I have used create or replace. That means even if the
Replace.
procedure by name greeting exists, it will be overwritten. Then
Replace.
procedure is a keyword. I have to use as it is. And then I use the name of the procedure greetings.
Precision.
Now, because this procedure I am creating independently, I make use of the word as. It's better to give the as word in the next line. Now, the body of the procedure. I say begin, and then what I'm going to do in this procedure is I'm just going to display hello world message to the user, and then I end the procedure. What will happen when I'll execute this procedure? I will get a
Hello world.
message called as no, it will not display because I have just created a program, but I have not executed that. Remember the difference. So far, whenever we created a program, they used to have declare, begin, and end. So that
And
program used to get executed then and there only. Clear?
yes,
So that means we
yes,
did
ma'am.
not preserve it. Here it is something we are creating a dish and we are putting it in dabba. And whenever we will open the
Okay.
dabba, that time I'll be able to see that. Clear?
See.
So
Yes, ma'am.
I'm creating a function, but until unless I execute that function, that will not get executed.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
this is the difference in the normal program and procedure. Procedure will be ready, but it will be still in the band, what you can say,
Yes,
that
ma'am.
closed box. So to
Yes, ma'am.
execute that procedure, there are two ways. I will show that. So once you execute this program, you will get a message called as procedure created. Now that procedure
Created.
by that name gets created. How to use that procedure? As we used to call a function, that time we can. Uh, so either that procedure can be executed independently, that means without putting it in any program, I can execute it independently. Second way is I can make use of one
Call.
program, like for example, if I have written one program, like suppose this is my PLSQL program. Now my procedure is somewhere here which is created and I have stored it in the Oracle compiler. Now this procedure can be independently executed or it can be embedded in the PLSQL program like
Yeah.
this. Clear? If I want to independently execute, I write here the command as, I write a command like this, execute and then the procedure name. My procedure name is greetings, so I can execute it like this. So this will be executed independently. But if I don't
Independently.
want to execute independently, I want to embed it in a program. So that time I can type a program, and in between the program I can call that procedure. So let us see the
Okay.
examples of how to call these in a two ways.
Yes.
So a standalone procedure can be executed or called in two ways. One is using execute keyword, and second we
Keyword.
can call the name of the procedure from the PLSQL block.
Yes.
So first, how to execute it independently without putting it in any of the programs. I say
Program.
execute greetings. Clear?
Greeting.
So let me show you that
Yes.
example. So I'll share PLSQL screen with you. Here I have created that procedure. Can you see SQL screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Create or replace procedure greetings, and then there is as
Greetings.
begin. I have said hello world, and the moment I execute it with a forward slash, I get a message called as procedure
Creative.
created, and then I had to execute. I said execute greetings, but then it didn't show me
Independently.
output. The reason was when I executed that time I had not executed this command. Which command I need to execute to see the output?
Set
Set
server
server
on.
output on. See, this is the result of not putting it on. If I don't put that
On.
server output on, I may see this
Display.
name that, or this message that procedure successfully completed, but I may not see the output. Anyway, so what I have done, I have again put server output on, and then I have called that procedure here. Can you see how to call a procedure? What is the name
Execute
of the procedure? Greetings.
greetings.
I have to execute it with a command called as execute. When I
Execute
say execute greetings, my
greetings. Hello
procedure
world.
by name greetings will be called and it gets executed here only. What my greetings
Yes.
procedure do? It just says hello world. So it has
Displays
printed
hello
hello
world.
world. Clear about this program?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let us start using the parameters. Clear? So what is the
Yes, ma'am.
okay, let us execute now, or let us
Okay.
understand the three ways of passing parameters. So for that, again, I'll take you to the theory part.
No.
Where is that document? Yes. Okay. So another way of executing that I didn't show. I showed you how to
Yes, ma'am.
execute it independently.
Independently.
Second way to execute it, I write another program. As you all know that PLSQL program can be written without variables also. So if I don't have any
Yes.
declaration section, I can directly start with begin.
Begin.
In this program, what I'm going to do, I'm not doing anything extra. I'm just calling the procedure greetings. See, look,
Okay.
how I can call the procedure. I can even say CALL, call and greetings, or I can simply type the name of the procedure that
No.
will automatically get called. And
Oh.
then I say end.
And
So I have written a new program in which I have embedded this procedure. I have called this procedure. So when the compiler will look at something like this greetings, it will search in Oracle's memory whether there is any procedure exists with this name.
mm-hmm.
If it exists, it will jump
Greeting.
to this procedure, and then it will execute this
Call.
part, and then the what you can say control will return here. Clear with that? So let us see even
Yes,
that
ma'am.
way of execution. So as you all know, in my compiler already that procedure by name greetings exists. So how do I
Exists.
call it? I will write a program for that. I'm sorry, I have switched to SQL, but you will not be able to see, right? Now you are able to see?
Mm. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So every time I have to select that option new share, otherwise it doesn't show. Anyways, I have come to begin. Now in this program, what
Greeting.
I'm going to do, I'm going to call that procedure called as greetings,
Mhm.
and then I just say end, give semicolon, I give forward slash. Yeah, I think after greetings, I have to give
Semicolon.
a semicolon. Then I have to say end. Yeah. Can you see this is how I have to call a procedure name and then end it with semicolon and then
Colon.
end your program, and then what it will do,
Pause.
it will execute the greetings procedure, and it has said hello world.
Hmm.
Can you see this? Yeah.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
procedure, suppose you don't want this procedure, then you can even delete the procedure by the same DDL command, drop procedure name. Yeah, I can do that,
Okay.
but right now I'll not demonstrate that. Let me take you to another program. Now, before going to another program, let me explain you the theory now of the parameters. Yeah. So, as I told you, PLSQL subprograms parameters can be passed in three modes. These are called as modes of passing the parameters. Can you see word
Okay.
file?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh. So, in what are the three modes? First mode is in mode. The in mode lets user to pass a value to the subprogram. It
Okay.
is a read-only parameter. That means I will just pass it to the program, and in the program it will just get operated. But and then you can just what you can say, display the value of that parameter or just perform some operation on the parameter, but nothing can be returned from it.
Modify.
Hmm?
Hmm.
And then out
Yes.
means, suppose I want to return a value of that variable, then I use out.
Out.
In and out rarely I use in case when I take the same variable as input and I modify the same variable content and pass it to the same variable. Are you getting? It is something when we say x equal to x plus 5. That means what? Suppose I have
Store.
typed like this x. Now let us start using colon equal to x equal to x plus 5. So what is the input
Five.
value here? Input value that is getting
X.
operated is x, that is
Hmm.
getting added with 5. But where is the output getting
Five.
stored? In the
In
x
X.
itself. So in this
Hmm.
case, I can make use of in out. Clear?
Hmm.
In and out.
Yes, ma'am.
Now let us see the example of, there is one program here called as find minimum. This program finds the minimum of two numbers that are passed as parameter, and whichever is the minimum value that will be passed in the third variable. Clear with
Hmm.
that? In the third parameter.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so for that I have done a program here. Okay, can you see SQL screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so here I have taken one procedure called as find min. To save time I had executed. Yeah, so this is the procedure which I have executed here. Now let us see the structure
Hmm.
of the procedure. Create procedure.
Procedure.
What is the name of the
Procedure name
procedure?
find min.
Find min.
Find
Now
min.
that find min has got one parameter x, and that parameter is of the mode. In which mode it is being
Hmm.
passed? In mode. That means the
In
value of
mode.
x will be given to the
Given.
procedure, will be passed
Okay.
inside the procedure. What is the data type of that value? Number.
Number.
Then second parameter. So when I give comma, that means first parameter description is over. Now I start with second
Hmm.
parameter, that is y. Y again is passed in the mode of
In mode.
in mode. In mode in the sense y's value will be passed from the outside world into the procedure by the
Procedure.
user. And then again its data type is number. Now
Number.
then comma, that means y's description is over. Now this is different. Third parameter is different.
Hmm.
You can see the name of the parameter I
Yes.
have used as z, but the mode in
Z.
which I have
Out
passed the
mode.
parameter is out. That
Out.
means value of the z will be taken out from the procedure. It
Procedure.
it is not exactly a return statement, but it can be taken out from the procedure. And what is the data
Procedure.
type of that? Number.
Number.
And now again, since this is an independent procedure, as you all know, I make use of the keyword as as.
As.
As can be typed there also, or it can be typed in the next line.
Down.
Anyways, so I
Hmm.
have typed there only. Then let us begin the body of the procedure. So I have said begin. Now, what does this procedure do? The parameters are x and y. I'm going to compare the values of x and y,
Yes.
whichever is the
And
minimum.
Y.
And that minimum
Hmm.
value, I'm going to store it in Z.
Student Z.
So look at the logic. I have a if statement here. If x is less than y, as per the syntax, I have to use then what? Z will be assigned a value of x. That means if x is minimum, x will be stored in Z. Else,
Z.
y will be stored
Y.
in Z. So
Z.
finally, Z will have the minimum value. And then no return statement, it is assumed that Z value will be taken out from the procedure. So this is the new
Hmm.
syntax which you should get used to. Clear?
Hmm.
Then I just,
Yes, ma'am.
I just end if the procedure body is end. And then sorry, this is end if. That means if condition is ended, then procedure body ends. Then I give forward slash. Now I get the message procedure created because the procedure
Created.
is created with correct syntax. But the
Hmm.
procedure will not get executed until and unless I call it. So as you all know how to call a procedure. Now this procedure
Yes,
cannot be
procedure.
independently executed because it requires some parameters, and then the value also is going to be returned in independent parameters. So I have created a program. Now this is the program which is going to call that procedure. Fine.
Mhm.
So this is a
Yes, ma'am.
PLSQL program. The PLSQL program starts with declare section.
Declare.
Inside declare, I mean inside this PLSQL program, I have declared three variables: A of the type
Hmm.
number, B of the
Number.
type number, C also
Hmm.
of the type number. Now,
Number.
among these A, B, C, I'm going to accept the value for A and B from the user. And then I'm going to find the
Two.
minimum of these two. And then the minimum value will be stored in C.
C.
But I'm not going to compare the value of A and B here. Instead of that, I'm going to call the procedure which is already designed to make that compare.
Hmm.
So we have
Hmm.
already written a procedure called as find min, which is going to do
Find
that work.
mean.
Fine. Okay, let us
Yes,
accept the value of A and B from the user. So if I have to
user.
accept it from the user, what I have to do? A colon equal
A.
to ampersand A.
Ampersand B.
Then B's value is accepted from the user. So I say B equal
B.
to colon ampersand B. So that will be accepted from the user. Then I'm
User.
going to call a procedure here. I just write a procedure name. I
Name.
pass all the three parameters. Among this, A and B values are going to be supplied to the procedure, whereas C value is going to serve as the receiver who is going to receive the value from the procedure min and max.
Procedure.
So whatever Z value we had used here in our find min, if you
Yes,
remember
ma'am.
in our find min, here we had
Z.
Z, which was
Out.
what you can say declared as out. So that means here whichever is the minimum value will be stored in Z. So here who
Z.
is going to be the representative of Z here?
C.
C. So yeah, here. So since I have passed A, B, C, A will be substituted there in X, B will be substituted in Y, and C will
Y.
be substituted in Z.
Z.
Okay, so whatever Z value will be returned by the procedure, that will be stored in the
Will be
variable
C.
C. So in this program, what I will do, I will print the value of C.
Hmm.
See what I
Hmm.
printed, minimum is equal
Hmm.
to, then I have
C.
concatenated with the value C. Then I end the program, PLSQL program. I give forward slash. Now the execution of the program asks me to enter the value for A. I enter 5.
Then
Then I enter 8. So which is the minimum of these two?
5.
5. 5 is
C.
the minimum of these two. So you can see here the output of the program is minimum is equal to 5.
5.
Clear with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, little
Yes, ma'am.
different syntax, but you have to understand this. Is that clear? So what I
Yes,
will do
ma'am.
is I will call this program again. I will just call this program again. Why? Because I want to execute with different values. So can you see here again I have called the same program, PLSQL program,
Yes, ma'am.
which is going to accept the value and call find min. Press enter. And then I give
Forward
forward
slash.
slash. Now initially I passed a value as minimum and b value as more. So now what I'll do,
Mm-hmm.
I'll pass a value as more and b value I'll pass it as
Mm-hmm.
suppose 4, which is minimum, b value is minimum. So
Yes.
look at the output, minimum equal to 4. So
Mm-hmm.
whichever is
So
the
4.
minimum, that will be calculated.
Yes,
Now
ma'am.
similarly for you the homework will be you will find the maximum value. Of course there is no much change required except for you have to change the
If condition.
if condition, that is the symbol of comparison. Am I audible still clearly? I'm getting some
Yes,
message and
ma'am.
yeah, fine. So this is one more example of passing the variables or passing the parameters as in and as well as out. Now let us look
Oh,
at another
yeah.
example wherein I'm going to make use of a program. Now what does this program do? This program creates a procedure called as square num.
Square
What does
num.
this program do? It will create a procedure called as square num, whatever variable I'm going to pass. Now look at the procedure here. Now procedure accepts one parameter called as x. Now that
Yes.
x is going to be passed in the third mode, which is the third mode, in
In
and
out
out
mode.
both. So in out mode in the sense what? X will serve as the input value and x
And
only will serve as
receive.
output receiver. So
Output.
now
Hmm.
the declaration is as, then begin. See how x will be modified. X, when I pass some number as x, that means suppose if I pass 2 as the input, then what will happen to 2? It will be multiplied with 2 again. That means a square of 2 will be calculated, and where that output will be stored? In the x
Yes.
itself. So this x
Yes.
itself will be returned as output. Now this first I have to execute. So I'll just copy this. I'm sorry. Have I shared this notepad file to you?
Yes, I'm visible. It's visible, ma'am.
It's visible, definitely. I mean, whatever
Yes,
I
ma'am.
was explaining just now, this was visible
Yes, ma'am.
square num.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am. This was visible.
okay. Then I will go to PLSQL screen here. I have come back. So I execute create procedure square num. Can you tell me what will be the output now when I'll execute?
Procedure created.
Mm, not exactly. It will say it is going to give me error saying that procedure already exists. Why?
It's already
Used by an
created.
existing, because I have not used create or replace. If
Okay,
I
we
would have
have to use
used
compressor.
create or replace, then what will happen? That square num,
Replace it.
yeah. Otherwise, another
Override.
way will be what I will have to do. I will have to change the procedure name this time. I have already
Yes.
used square num. I will just say
Then
square num 2 now.
yes, ma'am.
Clear? So I will just create a procedure with square num 2.
Yes,
Now it will allow me to create a procedure because the name is different now. So what does this
yes, ma'am.
procedure do? It is going to accept some input value and it will calculate square of that.
Square of the number.
Yeah, this is the independent procedure. Now I will have to call this procedure in some other program.
Program.
So for that, I have written a program here, but you have to remember the name of the procedure. So you can see here I have written a program. Program starts with declaration of a
Declare.
number. Now the variable I have taken is a here,
A.
and then I have a begin section, a value I've accepted from the user by saying ampersand a. Then I call this procedure which we have declared
Procedure.
above. The name of the procedure is
Pass
square
panel.
num2, and I've passed a as the value. So a will be passed as input value, and the calculated value of the square will again stored back in the a itself.
Itself.
So in this program, which is going to call that, this is a calling program. So in the calling program, what I'm going to do, I'm going to display square of, I'm sorry, here I have displayed some 23 here. I should have changed the message. Anyway, you just consider only
Square
square
of.
of, square of,
Yes, ma'am.
and then the
Contact
square
me.
will be calculated. So I'll just press enter here. It is asking me to pass the value for a. Suppose I pass 23, it is going to calculate square of 23 and it displays 529.
529.
Clear with that? Now again I can
Yes, ma'am.
execute the same procedure by saying forward slash, the same
Forward
program will be
slash
executed. Now I pass the value as 2. You can say
4.
square of 2 it should be. Why it is showing 23? Because by mistake I have written
Because we
that
have
as 23.
23.
Square of that equal to 4. So when I pass 2
4.
as the input value, its square will be calculated and I will get the value. Clear with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now our journal program is to calculate compound interest using procedure, which is already ready here. So what I will do is I will just explain that quickly. Last 5 minutes are remaining. Where is my PLSQL program? Lab. Okay. Yeah. Is the word file visible to you?
No, ma'am.
No. I hope before the time ends, I'll be able to show you that. Yeah. So the PLSQL program,
Yes, ma'am.
they have asked us to give the program name as compound INTR
Compound.
to calculate the amount of interest on a bank
Interest.
account, which compounds yearly. So what they have told us, they have told us to calculate amount only. But what I have done in this program, we have calculated amount
Compound
as
interest.
well as we have calculated the compound interest.
Compound
Clear?
interest.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Condition is given as a stored procedure should accept the value of P, R and Y. P, R and Y is what? P is principal,
PPI.
rate is
Principal
R,
rate.
and Y is nothing but the number of years. That is time.
Yes,
Time
ma'am.
here they have given as Y
Y.
in the syllabus copy itself it is used like this. So I'm going to use the same variables.
Y.
So I have added the note here. What is the formula to calculate compound interest? This is
In
not the compound interest. This is the amount
P.
will be calculated. How? P into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to I. It will give us amount. Then from that amount, I have to calculate compound interest as
Interest.
amount minus P. Now let us
Minus
look
P.
at this. Yeah. So this is a procedure. Oh, yeah. So this is a procedure. As you all know, I have used create or replace procedure. And as per
Procedure.
the syllabus copy, I am using the program name as
Compound.
compound INTR. I have to pass P, T and R. I've used PTR only better so that we understand. P is principal amount, T is time and R is um,
Rate of
rate.
interest.
Fine. So now
Yes.
PTR is passed. All are passed in the in mode. I'm
Mode.
not going to return the value. Yeah, what they have told in the program is they have told uh, compound, yeah, insert the interest and total amount into the temp table. So they don't want us to display the value. What they want that procedure to do, that procedure should add this value in the table. Are you
Yes,
getting?
ma'am.
Yesterday we had seen one program wherein the even
Yes, ma'am.
numbers were not displayed on the screen, they were inserted into the table and from the
Temp
table
table.
we had displayed it back. So for
Yes,
this,
ma'am.
they want us to insert what? Amount and
Interest.
interest. Yeah. So for that, I have created table called as create table temp2,
Temp
and
two.
then I've used first field name as amount, which is of the type
Amount.
number 6, 2. Then compound interest of the type again number
Number.
6, 2. So first I should have created this table.
Table.
Then the second step is create procedure. So as you all know, procedure is accepting 3 parameters. What does this procedure do?
Calculates interest
Yeah.
in CI.
Now this procedure should require declaration of the variable. So here I have declaration part of the variable, that I have declared one variable called as CI, which will store the compound interest. Then amount is the variable which will store amount. Clear? So in the
Yes, ma'am.
procedure itself, I have taken two variables. This is how in the procedure you can declare the variables inside the procedure.
Okay.
So I have declared these variables. Then what I have done? I have begin. Amount will be calculated by this formula which we have already discussed yesterday. P into.
Yesterday.
Now because T is
Power.
going to be the raised value, power value, so I am using a power
Mm.
function. Base value is 1 plus R upon 100. T is the exponent value. Once we calculate this, multiply with, I am going to get it into AMT. Can you see the
Amount.
screen highlighted
Yes,
part?
ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes,
On
ma'am.
that amount, how will I calculate compound interest? Amount minus P.
Amount minus
Now these
PCP.
two values, amount and CI, I am going to insert into temp2 table. How? Insert into
Insert
temp2
into
values, amount, comma,
amount
CI.
CI.
And then I will end. This procedure is created. How to execute the procedure? For execution of the procedure, I can say execute, or I can even use 4 letters of the execute command. What is the first 4 letter? EXEC.
EXEC.
See, I'm not calling this procedure inside any program. I'm executing it independently.
Independently.
Yeah. So EXEC, then the procedure name, pass the 3 values in sequence
Parallel.
P, T, R. Okay. After I
Yes, ma'am.
call, this procedure will be executed successfully, but where will the content go?
Table.
Yeah, it will go to the table. So what is our next step? I have to display the content
Select
of
start from
temp2 table. So I
select
say select start from temp2.
start from
So
template.
the temp2 table will have 2 columns, amount and compound
Amount and
interest.
CI.
So for 100 rupees of investment, I have got total amount as 110.41. That means compound interest is 10 rupees and 41 paisa.
10.41.
Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so for that, I have to first create this table.
Table template.
Yeah, temp2. First, I'll copy it down because I can't execute it as it is. I have to remove line numbers. I can even type it, but for saving time, I will just say
Okay.
temp VK because I doubt I have created temp2 also yesterday.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll say new share. Last 2 minutes are remaining. So I got the table created.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh,
Now procedure.
Now procedure. So I will take again that procedure needs to be removed with the numbers. Anyways, even if I don't execute, I hope the logic is clear to you. You all can try yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm
Yes, ma'am.
trying within the time, but running out of time. Hope. Yeah, if I exit in between, just understand that you have to execute it yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Procedure created. How will I call the
Created.
procedure? EXEC
Yes.
COMPOUN.
EXEC.
Yeah, EXEC COMPOUND compound INTR. Let me pass the same values, any values. Procedure complete.